gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah.
Ever since it launched, the Honor 500 Pro's camera deco design has clearly followed a trend we've seen on plenty of other phones, and that's pretty obvious. At first, I personally liked the circular, center-aligned look of my Honor Magic 8 Pro more. But after seeing the Honor 500 Pro in person a few times, I started to feel that it actually looks quite nice. That's what finally pushed me to pick up a phone from the Honor 500 series. To be honest, I slightly preferred the standard version in terms of looks, but in the end, I went with the Pro version that has the traffic light style camera layout. In my opinion, the Pro model offers the best overall value in this lineup. I've been using it for a while now, so let me share my real-world experience. A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting tech content. For the color, I chose Moonlight Silver, and the in-hand feel of this phone is genuinely impressive. We're talking about a 21-gram device packing an 8,000 mAh battery, which is pretty outstanding. I've already mentioned the dimensions, and overall, it feels very comfortable to hold. All the buttons are placed on the right side, including this year's AI physical button, which adds a subtle but distinctive Honor touch. This button works differently from the one on the Magic 8 Pro. It isn't a traditional clicky button. Instead, it relies purely on tactile feedback. It supports firm presses and swipe gestures. By default, a hard press takes you straight into the AI interface, where you can simply ask the screen whatever you want. A double tap launches the camera, and actions like zooming or snapping photos feel intuitive and familiar. The placement of the button does feel a bit far back, but it's still usable. I've actually wondered why both Apple and Honor don't move these shoulder-style buttons closer to the edge for easier access. After thinking about it, it's probably done this way to avoid accidental touches. I was initially surprised by how this button feels on the Honor 500 Pro. It uses a zero motor, so the feedback feels slightly soft rather than crisp. This year, most phones have gone with a matte finished frame, which I personally like a lot. It improves the overall texture and makes the frame less prone to scratches, something you really appreciate if you change phones as often as I do. When it comes to audio, the Honor 500 Pro's stereo dual speakers take a different approach compared to the Magic series. Instead of heavy bass, the tuning leans more toward higher frequencies, which makes voices stand out clearly when watching videos. The soundstage is also quite decent. As for the display, eye protection has always been one of Honor's strongest points. If LED screens usually bother your eyes, you should really try an Honor phone because the difference is noticeable. The phone features a 6.55-inch 1.5K LTPS display with a 120Hz refresh rate and supports ultra-high-frequency PWM dimming up to 3840 Hz at low brightness levels. It also comes with several eye protection modes. The screen looks sharp overall, offers excellent viewing angles, and has slim bezels. I'm very satisfied with this display. It also includes 3D ultrasonic fingerprint recognition. On top of that, you get IP69K dust and water resistance, dual frequency GPS, quad frequency passive positioning support, and the C1 imaging chip. If strong signal performance and accurate navigation matter to you, there's nothing to worry about here. The Honor Digital series has always placed a big emphasis on photography, especially portraits. I won't go deep into it and we'll just mention the specs. Some people might be concerned about the 200 megapixel main camera, but honestly, I rarely use high-resolution modes in everyday shooting. That said, it's definitely useful if you like to crop heavily during post-editing. Now let's talk about one of the biggest highlights of this generation, Live Photo. Live Photo supports 4K resolution, and every single frame can be exported individually, which makes it genuinely practical. This generation also adds a frame switching feature that a friend of mine absolutely loves because it's quite fun to use. You can even experience a naked eye 3D effect yourself. Just keep in mind that for the best results, it's important to choose backgrounds and clothing with clear contrast so the cutout effect looks more accurate and convincing. On top of that, Live Photo also comes with an AI removal feature that lets you erase objects frame by frame. After a short processing wait, the results are honestly pretty impressive. Now let's talk about the everyday shooting experience. This generation of Honor has made noticeable improvements, especially when you compare it to its own previous models. With the new image stabilization algorithm, night photography has taken a clear step forward, and the overall results in low light are much better than before. When I'm shooting, I personally prefer a more true-to-life look, so I usually stick with the natural mode. However, I've noticed that every time I fully close the camera app and reopen it, the system defaults back to vivid mode. I think this is something Honor could easily improve by remembering the last used setting. Some people might say that while Honor has definitely progressed, the lack of brand collaborations or a more distinctive color style makes the photos feel like they're missing a bit of character. That said, the AI color tracking feature on this generation is genuinely impressive. On top of that, Honor's portrait photography benefits from Yagu's tuning, especially the Yagu Vivid mode, which works well in a wide range of scenes and delivers great results when shooting people. As for performance, this model is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite internal test processor. For a phone in the number series, this level of performance is more than sufficient. Since it's positioned as a slim and lightweight camera-focused phone, pairing this powerful chip with an 8,000 mAh battery results in outstanding battery life. In real-world testing, with the screen set to half brightness, playing 1080p video for 8 hours only drained 31% of the battery, which easily supports all-day viewing. When it comes to gaming, this processor handles most titles below the level of Genshin Impact without any issues, maintaining stable and high frame rates. Charging is also solid, with support for 80-watt wired charging and 50 watts wireless charging. In tests, the 80-watt wired charger took the battery from 3% to 100% in just 1 hour. It also supports 27-watt reverse charging, which honestly makes you wonder why your next power bank can't just be your phone. The MagicOS system has always been known for being easy to use, and if you have feedback or suggestions, you can submit them through the official forum's suggestion section. From what I've seen, the development team actually listens and responds. To wrap things up, I'm personally very satisfied with the overall design of the Honor 500 Pro. The combination of a slim, lightweight body and an 8,000 mAh battery is a huge win in my book. The imaging performance also exceeded my expectations. What do you think about the Honor 500 Pro? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.